Well, good New Year's Day, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, who's over on the desk. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Wow. Tomorrow is the second to last Sunday of the regular season. Um, it's crazy how fast the football season goes and how long it seems to finally get here. And it's kind of sad. For some teams, there's 2 more weeks to literally get put out of their misery. It's another year of wait till next year and starting all over and everything else. Unfortunately for our Cowboys and maybe for the Philadelphia Eagles, they will be able to have other opportunities to extend the season. Now, we know our Cowboys, we're in the playoffs. No matter what happens the next 2 weeks, we are in there. The question will be is where exactly will we be there? Some people say, hey, you still got a chance for home field advantage. Of course, that took a hit with Kirk Cousins having COVID. But I will say that the the Green Bay Packers aren't exactly in the best of shape as well. They just elevated 6 players off of the COVID list themselves. And just getting the players back off COVID list does not necessarily mean that they're actually 100%. We've heard of players like, say, Tyler Lockett with Seattle, who literally lost 8 pounds and talked about how bad he felt. And we saw, for example, Amari Cooper coming back off the COVID list, but not quite the same Amari Cooper. You could tell that he was winded and that he was not as effective. So maybe there's a chance that Minnesota somehow sneaks up and finds a way to win. This is literally Custard's last stand for Minnesota. If they lose, they can pretty much cancel Christmas as far as the playoffs go. And never underestimate a man with nothing to lose. Trust me, the most dangerous person in this world is a person with nothing to lose. But I was sitting here thinking, because a lot of things have kind of gone through today. We know Dan Reeves has passed at 77 years old. Roland's Review, she's doing videos on Jim Crow era individuals where she's actually interviewing the individuals. And what's crazy is I'm 56 years old, and I'm very proud of my age. I've seen so many things that have come about and come and gone. And the person that they're interviewing is talking about 1965 when he was no longer forced to sit on the back of the bus, which was the year that I was born. And to take this a step further, I always tell you guys to check out some of the vintage football, the stuff that happened in the 70s and 80s and things like that. To me, that was truly when football was more about passion than anything else before it truly became a big business. Most of the guys that were playing football in the 70s had to have off-season jobs. When you talk to a guy like Cliff Harris, the oil company he worked for literally gave him an edict that either you choose football or you choose this company. And it was a hard decision for him. The way he made that decision was because literally he had gotten knocked out by, I think a running back. And he realized that maybe it's time to start thinking about hanging it up. But here's what's crazy. 54 years ago today, I was 2 years old. And 54 years ago today, the Ice Bowl was played. My lifetime. That was one of the pinnacles of the Dallas Cowboys being known as the great regular season team, but the team that just couldn't win it. Because most people don't realize that the Cowboys actually played the Green Bay Packers twice in the championship game, back to back, and lost both of them. And they finally get to the Super Bowl against the Colts, the juggernaut Colts, and lost that game. And that's where it was, the Cowboys, they're just losers. But I always tell you guys that study what happens in the past, because if you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're going. And I just want to show this clip of some of the highlights of the Ice Bowl. Yeah. I play this and remind you of this for a reason. It's not that I enjoy the pain, but I think about Peyton Manning, who every year would have great seasons, but just could not get past the New England Patriots. It was like his kryptonite. And if you watch the game, and there again, I'm not putting the whole Ice Bowl in there. It's an incredible story. In fact, it's one of those ones that you should go through and watch the whole thing. When you hear about the field, that they actually had, the field was supposed to be heated with hot water pipes. That was to keep it from freezing up. But something happened, and instead of it keeping the field warm enough to keep it from freezing up, it made it literally like an ice rink. And the Packers ended up going to a sports store basically across the street, and they ended up getting tennis shoes, because the tennis shoes grip better on there as opposed to having cleats that couldn't bite into the ice. And that's where they say the second half that the Packers actually got better footing and finally were able to punch it in. But I want you to understand that this is deja vu all over again, because here it was, the Dallas Cowboys, much like every time we play the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs, were up with only a little bit of time left. And here it is, Bart Starr carries them down the field for a last-second score that wins. Does that feel familiar? Does that feel familiar? That's Aaron frickin' Rodgers. We get the feel-good score and take the lead, and then all of a sudden Aaron frickin' Rodgers takes the Green Bay Packers down the field for a score. And that has been our kryptonite year after year. And quite frankly, as you look at things right now, and this is kind of crazy, and maybe I shouldn't be thinking about this far ahead, but more than likely Green Bay will win against Minnesota. Minnesota without a quarterback, and going against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers will do well with just about anybody out there. That's not to say that it's going to be an easy game. I think it's going to be a closer game than most people think. But I think in the end, Green Bay, that the Super Bowl will go through Green Bay. When you look at the teams right now, the Rams are playing better, but their quarterback, as much as people, want to say, oh, Matthew Stafford is great and all that, Matthew Stafford's been a turnover machine the last 4 weeks or so, and just literally giving away the football. I'm not quite as sold on Matthew Stafford, a guy who's never won a playoff game, now all of a sudden being a playoff quarterback that will, lead the Rams to the Super Bowl. I look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has a multitude of injuries, and Tampa Bay has kind of come back down to earth from where they were. And you start looking around, the Cardinals will be in there, but the Cardinals, they are on a skid, and they have a bunch of injuries as well, and they should actually lose tomorrow against the Cowboys as well. And from there, of course, there's the 49ers, which have played well at times. I'm still not sure that Jimmy Garoppolo will be the guy that gets them to the NFC Championship game. And, of course, there may be the Eagles that'll be in there, or the Vikings, or one of the other ones. And it'll be a great story for them, but I don't think that those are going to be the ones that get to the NFC Championship game. And so, to me, everything is pointing back to an Ice Bowl 2. Now, if there's any good news, or is it really bad news that's good news, is with global warming, I don't know that it's going to be minus 12 in Green Bay. I just don't have that feeling. In fact, in January in Green Bay currently, I think the high temperatures are like 26, 27 degrees. And probably in the last couple of years, it's been a little bit warmer than that. So it'll be cold, but I don't think it'll be the frozen tundra. And for the Cowboys, at some point, you have to face your demons, and you must slay those demons. And the Green Bay Packers have been that demon. And maybe that this year will be the first time that we've gone against Aaron frickin' Rodgers with a defense that can play toe-to-toe with him, a defense that can get him off the block, a defense that won't let him have 7-8 seconds to find an open man, and hopefully a defense like he has not faced this year. we'll see how all this works together, but think about it. I'm going to ask this dumb question. Do I look that old? Old enough to have been 2 years old when the Ice Bowl was played? Old enough to have been here when segregation was here? I am. I hope all you guys are having a great, great New Year's Day. I hope everybody is safe. I hope everybody is healthy. And I hope that everybody has a great, great year. And I am so looking forward to the playoffs and seeing if my Dallas Cowboys can compete. They can compete. And much like the 60s Dallas Cowboys into the 70s, get the monkey off their back. So with that being said, it's time for me to roll up on out of here. And I'm not ready. I'm not ready. We'll end it with this one.
I fire Howie. Fucking fire the motherfucker. Stupid motherfucker. What an idiot. What an idiot. Dallas has Amari Cooper and Gallup, but we don't need a receiver. Are you kidding me? I don't want Justin Jefferson. He's ass. He's stupid. I fire his ass. I fire his ass. I mean, Howie's got to be stupid.